and thank you for joining us on Passion. I am your host, Britt Ivy, and I am pleased to announce that Paul Coughlin is with us today. Paul is an international speaker, an author of 8 books going on 9, and the founder of the organization The Protectors. Welcome, Paul.
Great to be back, Britt. Thank you very much.
I'm so grateful that you're here.
Excellent.
A lot has happened since you've been here.
Boy, yes.
A lot has happened. And for instance, we have this one book, Anti-Bullying, Your Passion, and what the Protector stands for, is what helped you come out with this book, No More Jellyfish, Chickens, or Wimps, Raising Secure, Assertive Kids in a Tough World. And since our last interview, you had been approached to repackage the book under a new cover. It was so successful, and they want to relaunch it.
That is true. It's every author's dream, right? Because one of the dirty little secrets about books is that it's really the fact that it's a new release that will grab interest. And then, most, sales, often little painful, quiet death of the book. It might continue to sell, a lot of books go out of print. And so, like a lot of other books, that came out, great interest at first, but interest had waned. But another publisher saw the value in it and basically took the same guts, gave it a new title, which I was actually very happy. I was never actually very happy with the title of that book. I had some say as an author, but the publishing house usually has more of a say. And gave it a new, like I said, new cover, new title. And but the really neat thing is a different distribution chain.
Oh, congratulations.
It is. So this is available in grocery stores now, airports.
Oh, you're kidding.
And a whole other style of distribution that that book did not get a chance to enjoy. So it got a second life. I call it Lazarus. It got a second life and has come back to life.
Excellent. I love bookstores and airports.
Yeah, so do I.
That is a wonderful market.
It is, because there's really good sales, too. It's very impulsive buy.
I actually had someone in marketing for publishing let me know that the cover, as much as people know it's important, some statistic of like 89% has to do with, if you get a catchy cover.
Absolutely.
So let's show the audience your new cover there, Paul.
They came up with a new cover. They made it very simple, as well as a very simple benefit statement, because you're right. If you can get a benefit statement in the title of the book, it does a lot better. So, Raising
Bully-Proof Kids. Awesome. Awesome. That was my backpack right in the middle, the bright pink one.
We talked about having one backpack missing to show that the kid didn't go to school. There's that interesting statistic where about, and this was from the middle 90s, where 160,000 children a day stay home from school due to fear of bullying.
Oh, my goodness.
So we thought we would represent that by having a backpack missing. Ultimately, we didn't do that. But the interesting thing about that statistic is, again, that's from the middle 90s, before cyberbullying really started to take off.
It's probably over 250,000 now.
It is very safe. I don't think that's an exaggeration. I mean, it's just continuing to get worse and worse.
Well, it's certainly in the spotlight a lot in our media, and you were kind of there at the beginning, and now it's become more of a, I don't want to say a fashion topic, but you call it the theater of bullying. It's become a more prominent topic.
It is.
You have celebrities talking about it. We have a clip in a few minutes of you speaking to Grace Christian School, to their assembly of kids, interspersed with scenes from a movie called To Save a Life, which was based on a true story. I won't give the punchline away, but, schoolyard bullying at its extreme.
Yeah.
And
you and I were responsible to some degree of helping to bring that to Southern Oregon. We helped bring that here.
Well, praise God for that. That's true. And our friend Joshua Weigel is one of the stars in To Save a Life.
That's right.
And the second clip we'll be seeing in the show is a couple minutes of him. He is the youth minister, and he's speaking to the young man who has watched his best friend commit suicide, really. So
we call it bullycide. When they do it due to bullying, we call it bullycide.
Bullycide, wow.
Yeah.
Well, another thing that I find very admirable, Paul, you went up to Salem a month and a half ago and were instrumental in speaking about a new law being put into effect, and it passed.
Yeah, it went out of a Senate subcommittee, an education Senate subcommittee, and I had the great fortune of being able to testify on behalf of this cyberbullying bill, which would make it, it would require schools throughout Oregon, public schools throughout Oregon, to kind of tighten up their reporting of cyberbullying issues, as well as give a little more teeth to families within Oregon who really want to be able to stop this from happening to their children, but are currently finding it a bit difficult to have the legal teeth to make their desires stick more. So I had the great pleasure of speaking before the Senate subcommittee, and apparently it went pretty well because it helped get it out of that committee and onto the Senate floor, which it worked, and then it went to the House. And the House can be a bit more, depending on who you speak to, but all houses are designed to be they're more rowdy than on the Senate side.
A little more boisterous.
A little more boisterous, a lot more stuff going on over there. And so one person said it was being a bit impetulant that week that it made it there. So I'm still waiting to hear exactly what happened with that bill, where it currently is. But it was a great pleasure and great honor to speak on behalf of it and meet some really important people in Salem, because this issue is not going to go away. We will be testifying on behalf of other bills, or absolutely guarantee. And hopefully we can work with the state of Oregon and work with the public education system to really put safeguards into place that everyone wants. But oftentimes it's difficult to figure out exactly how to do it. I mean, because it's such a complex theater. You've got freedom of speech laws, for example, on both state and federal levels, and these laws are really going to be they're going to be challenged, because as we find cyberbullying increasing, it's clearly the fastest growing form of bullying today.
So it's just abuse online.
It is intentional abuse. It's the superior use of power, real or perceived, to intentionally harm another person over a period of time. That is a working person's definition of bullying. It almost always includes some form of humiliation and a threat of further retribution if the target speaks. And so, of course, it's a think about it, online bullying it's ideal for a certain kind of person. You can remain somewhat anonymous, though not completely. Youth often do not realize how if there is a court mandate, or the legal system gets involved, you can find out who wrote these things about another person.
And this is happening in our high schools in Jackson County?
Absolutely. I've worked with two families here in Jackson County whose both of them were girls, who were being cyberbullied by other girls. And some of the stuff that was said, we can't repeat it, but it's awful. It's perverted. It's actually evil. What we're really talking about is evil. Evil, according to Dr. Philip Zimbardo. He's a very famous psychologist for the Stanford prison experiment. I'm currently reading his book called The Lucifer Effect.
Oh, wow.
He's a remarkable man, and he has come up with a definition of evil that I think is just brilliant. He said it's the deliberate deployment of destructive power. And that's what this is.
That's catchy.
And it is, and he figured it out. He's really onto something here. And so that's what it is. These children who are bullying other children online, it's not because of conflict. It's not because of miscommunication, misunderstanding. It's not due to anger management. They just don't like the other person. Bullies are highly susceptible to having an inflated view of themselves, a high level of self-esteem, not low level.
Egotistical, narcissistic.
Grandiose, and because of that, highly prone to feelings of envy and jealousy. Because when you think that the limelight should be on you all the time, and here comes along a person might be more talented, might be more attractive, smart, or whatever, they start getting the limelight. Though this person did nothing to that person, they're going to undercut that person, and it's some of the worst in human nature. Sad thing is, we're not doing much to hardly abate it.
Well, you know what I love? we are playing a little bit of a part to abate it,
That's right.
especially you know, going to Salem, writing, and you have an upcoming exciting event. I'm trying to twist something, you know, that's got me on the verge of tears. To here you have two people that were bullied. We were both bullied in schools,
Yeah.
and now we actually get to speak out about it. You know,
We do.
quite a bit later, but still, you know, can kind of stick up for kids that might have felt like we felt like. And you have a very exciting project coming up. Now we do need to go to the clip in about a minute, but when we get back from that, I would like to talk to you about the producers that have approached you about producing a feature-length film on this topic.
Outstanding. Yeah, it's a great development.
Yeah,
Great
congratulations.
pleasure. Thank you very much.
Pretty exciting. Okay, well, if we could go to clip 1 in the studio, please.
Guys, there was a time in America when it was okay to bully someone, to make fun of them, to humiliate them, to hurt them based on the color of their skin. Now, in some cases, it's actually okay to bully people based on all kinds of reasons. Most of them that just might be a little different from you or a little different from me. Some people think it's kind of okay to do that to other people.
Hey, check out that gimp. Hey, oh my.
Our car only leaves room for one more, if you know what I mean.
Am I seeing things, or were you just talking to Amy Briggs?
Yep.
Well, let's get out of here. My mom already ordered the pizza, so.
Raj, I can't go.
Wait, what? I just talked to you before the game.
Amy invited me to a party.
Okay. Well, cold pizza's still good. So where's the party?
You can't go.
I get it. Things are gonna be different now.
And Jordan was being what's called cyberbullied. People were saying awful things about him on the internet, on Facebook. And in this case, it was mostly girls who were saying bad things about him. And Jordan didn't want to go to school. And his parents said, hey, you gotta go. And he didn't want to go, but he got in the car anyway. And then unfortunately, Jordan got in the car, went back inside, and on Monday morning, and he took his own life. We call it bullycide. People taking their own lives because people were making fun of them.
Screaming out, doing everything in my power to be heard. Yet even silence is louder than my screams. What else can I do to be heard but to tear down my world, break apart my life? Die. I just want somebody to listen and to not be angry that I'm not content, because I'm not. You know, I'm not happy. I feel like I'm stuck in a world where no one wants me. In a world where I'm so completely different, I can never fit in or be understood. I can scream as loud as I want to, but the screams will always fade because no one really knows how to listen.
Roger.
You know, the really sad thing is, there was no evidence that any of his classmates by now didn't see him. And I wonder, and I try to put myself in their shoes, how do they feel? I mean, how do you feel when you see someone who's being really picked on and really hurt, and you don't do it? When I was in school, I was in PE class, right? And so I could be in the shower, and I had, towel around it, and I'm getting into my locker in order to get ready for my next class. And standing right next to me is a young man with Down syndrome. So I'm standing next to him, he's minding his own business. I'm minding my own business, I just want to get changed, go off to my next class. Well, in the same locker bank, there is a guy named Greg. And Greg is a big boy, and Greg is a wrestler. Well, we're not your own business. Well, Greg's not. Greg turns to this young man with Down syndrome and starts saying disgusting words towards him. I can't repeat the words that he used toward this guy. They're sick words. And I would even say wicked and evil words for this kid. The young man with Down syndrome did nothing to the boy. There is no relationship. There's no miscommunication. There's no misunderstanding, and there's no anger management issues here. He's the bully. Bullies receive pleasure from hurting other people. For no good reason. Is there a good reason for this? He's just doing it because he can.
What? Are you serious? Everybody, look! Check out this fruitcake! Did you shred this?
I got an amazing study that I want to tell you about. That in 10 cases of bullying, just like that, if one person uses strong, assertive, non-violent words, leave him alone, leave her alone, that's wrong, stop it. That incident of bullying will end 6 out of 10 times. See? Is that when we don't help people, we're making a choice as well. We don't even think about that. We think that if I get involved, well, something bad might happen to me. And that's possible. But what we never really think about is if I don't get involved, something bad might happen to me. Well, I say if there's any trouble, let's get in trouble doing the right thing.
Wow.
Good job. That was some great editing.
That
there.
was amazing editing.
Really good content. They dovetailed the content very well.
Yeah, very impactful. Yeah, John did a wonderful job. We'll get that audio figured out. And
Yeah.
this is
Hard to record in gyms.
so amazing. I feel like I did after I saw the movie right now. It's almost like I don't want to speak. So this is a very huge and tough subject. So tell us a little bit about the movie and plans for the upcoming feature.
Yeah, to save a life, what a fantastic work. What I really liked about it, so many things. I think it does a very good job of representing youth culture and just the difficulties that they've got to deal with. I see it as a coach. I've been coaching almost 20 years now. Boys varsity soccer coach. Mm-hmm. They deal with stuff that we don't really know. They don't talk about it that much, particularly boys.
Right, and keep it inside.
They do. It's difficult for them. What I love about this movie is Jake, the main character. Mm-hmm. He starts out, he's a very popular athlete, he's a basketball player. Mm-hmm. And he just sees how people are so marginalized just for the pleasure of it. And there's no real reason to do that to another person. You look at the young man in this clip who, the African-American boy, takes his own life. He's being beat up, he's being bullied, pushed around, humiliated pretty regularly. He doesn't do anything to other people.
Right.
They just do it because they can.
Right.
You know, there's certain people in this world who they receive pleasure from another person's pain.
Right.
And we have a word for that, and that's called sadism. Serial bullies are often sadists, and they're tomorrow's prison population, statistically.
And it's hard to admit that your young children can have the capacity for sadism. So
absolutely. It usually starts out with animals, and then they
yeah,
graduate to people.
Yeah,
they graduate to people. So what's wonderful about this movie is that you have a very popular person standing alongside the marginalized, and that's really important. When I go into schools, public or private, I go into both, I challenge two groups of people. I challenge everyone to stand up to bullying. I challenge people of faith, because it's usually been people of faith who have stood up for human dignity, multiple faiths, not just one, and athletes. Athletes have a lot of cachet. And so...
You're right.
Oh, yeah, they usually set the moral thermostat in most every school.
That is amazing.
Particularly the male athletes.
That's amazing. So the possible lead character in the feature film that you have been asked to put forth, maybe a football player. Now, I don't know if I'm allowed to mention names.
I think you're safe on that one. I'm not allowed to mention names. But yeah, we have been asked to be part of a documentary, national documentary, to tell this story of not only of the protectors, but the story of the marginalized, of people who are picked on, who are bullied every day, and they don't have a voice. We're going to give them a voice, and we're going to dispel a lot of misconceptions and myths about bullying.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So let's go to the second clip then of To Save a Life. And it's a short clip. It's just a couple minutes. And as usual, I wish we had a whole hour. So thank you so much, Paul.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, appreciate it. So we'll go to the second clip, and then we can come back and wrap up.
So Jake, I'm curious. What'd you call me for?
Well, friends ditched me, and my parents would freak out.
What about your girlfriend?
Speak of the devil. She took my truck.
Oh man, it's not your best night, is it?
I'll drink to that. Yeah. This isn't my house.
Yeah, I know. I just can't stop thinking about him. He must have been going through hell and we let him down. Roger came to my youth group once. Sunday before. Must have been a last-ditch effort, but it didn't work. Hold on one second, I'll be right back, okay? Hey, I'm Chris. How you doing?
Roger.
Good to have you here. So what school do you go to?
Right.
Hey, one second, I'll be right back. I gotta take it. Good to see you again. I missed him.
There was this kid at the party tonight, and they wouldn't let him in because he wasn't cool enough. I mean, how messed up is that? He wasn't cool enough? The other guys didn't want Roger around, so I just ditched him. They would mess with him, make fun of him, and I never said a word.
Yeah, I know what you mean, Jake. But somehow we gotta own how we treated him, you know?
I was his only friend. And I would see him every day, walking to school, in the halls, and I never even said hi. So we're both living with regrets, huh?
Wow. Wow. For our Ashland audience, too, that the youth minister, Joshua Weigel, his film, The Butterfly Circus, he and his wife produced, won the Ashland Film Festival Audience Award last year. But
yeah, he's very good, isn't he? He's a really good actor, good writing.
Yeah, they both are. And thank you, John Skuya, for the wonderful clips. Yeah, we're both sitting here teary-eyed. So the poor kid, he was at a party, he's tipsy, and he was lucky enough to have an adult to talk to. And what you contend is that most of the kids don't.
No, for various reasons. We, again, as adults, we have these convenient myths, frankly, as to what we think bullying is and it isn't. We often think that, that which doesn't kill us makes us stronger, right? So if we go through this difficulty, we say things like, well, people need to work out conflict on their own, and they're absolutely right. Kids do need to learn how to work out conflict on their own.
If they're healthy kids and working it out the right way, right?
Right, but bullying's not about conflict.
Okay.
It's about domination. It's about intentional cruelty and abuse toward another person who often did nothing to deserve the treatment. So it's not about conflict. This is what I say to parents or to adults. I say, let's say you're walking into work tomorrow and 5 people gang up on you and they knock you to the ground and they kick your books out from under your arm and maybe they spit on you and say horrible names to you. How many of you could work out that conflict on your own? I never get a hand to come up, unless you're Bruce Lee, right? I mean, never get a hand to come up. See, it's not about conflict. It's intentional disdain and contempt for another human being. You know what it is? You know what it's the ring in Lord of the Rings. It's the ring in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, wow.
The ring represents power. Most people put the power on. Most people put the ring on of bullying in their lives. We all try it on. But then after we dominate another person, intentionally harmed them, we go, whoa, that's wrong.
Right.
Their conscience gets to them. They say, I don't want to do that. There's something that tells me that that's wrong.
Like Dr. Scott Peck says, there's a certain category of folks that they don't have the conscience. These are the kids that are tearing the wings off the butterflies as kids and graduate to animals. And
Scott Peck, who I had a chance to get to know before he died, said that such people either need to be healed or contained.
Oh.
And and isn't that what we do? We try to heal them. If we can't heal them, they are contained in the penal system.
Wow. Well, God bless you for fighting the good fight for our kids and for our country. And thank you so much for coming on, Paul. Congratulations with the new book.
Thank you.
And I hope that we can make this a trilogy, and next time we can have a couple of the stars on that'll be in your film.
Oh, that'll be outstanding. Great idea.
Yeah. We'll have a lot of great help here. Thank you to Lisa Amahide and James Dills and Linda Zwick and John Skuya. Thank you for the wonderful crew today. And thanks for joining us on Passion. We'll see you soon.
De Ramsès à Mandela, que de vérité tu